Hello trophy hunters, Tanya here and welcome back to the channel. So here's a fun fact about me. I am absolutely awful at maths. No matter what it is, my brain just can't comprehend the numbers. I don't understand how they work together. I don't understand how certain equations make certain outcomes, and the whole thing is just misery, basically. But that being said, there is one set of numbers that I have no issue poring over, and that is of course my trophy statistics. And I know I'm not the only trophy hunter out there who really takes joy in seeing their achievements spread out in front of them. But I love being able to see the percentage of games I've completed, or, the percentage of rare trophies that I have, or just the number of platinums, or what my rarest games are. I just find it all so interesting, and I love being able to see areas that I can improve and set myself little challenges to make trophy hunting that bit more interesting. Now, PSN Profiles is seen as the top dog for trophy hunting websites, and I'll be honest, that is the only one I was using. However, I was recently grinding out Kingdom Hearts 2, separate story, I have rage quit the game, I am furious, and I will never go back to it. But when I was doing that, I was watching LudiXP's most recent video, or her most recent video at the time, which I will link down below, but that was all about the statistics on TrueTrophies. And that's a website that I've never used. And although it's not as visually appealing as PSN Profiles and it doesn't seem to be as user-friendly, there is a lot of really interesting statistics that I'd never seen before. And I thought it would be really fun to sign up and kind of explore this whole other side of my trophy hunting career that I have previously missed. And one such feature that I thought would be really fun to go through together would be my PlayStation story. So here we are on the homepage for TrueTrophies. I have just signed up and immediately I was bombarded with ads, which, a bit off-putting, but if you can look past all them, in between there is actually a whole section for gaming news on the homepage, and I think that's really interesting because depending on how you trophy hunt and how involved you are with the community, it can be quite easy to miss gaming news until it's happening. So I do think that this is a really interesting feature to include, and I'm pretty sure PSN Profiles doesn't have something similar. But it just tells you about upcoming releases, things that Sony have to change in games, information about sales. So I think that's really interesting. There's also just a lot of really interesting stats on the website in general, which I'm really looking forward to just spending a couple hours and going through them. But I don't want to do that on this video just because it's going to be me just clicking things and being like, ooh, what's this? And, nobody needs to see that. However, when I am more to grips with the website and when I kind of understand what, different things mean, if you want to see some of my true trophy stats, let me know, because I'm incredibly vain. I love talking about myself and my achievements. So, let me brag for a while. But one thing is this website does also have something called a true trophy score. So my one is 218,919. So I don't know if that's good or not. So let me know. Also, I do not have friends on this website. So if you do want to be my True Trophies friend, feel free to send a request. My username is HitTheRoadBucky, and it's the same as my PSN Profiles and obviously my PSN name because that's what it is. It is from the Emperor's New Groove. If you are curious, that is what Kuzco says to a squirrel. So, fun fact, I love Disney. But yeah, before we dive right into the PlayStation, my PlayStation story, I've not seen it yet. I've not seen what games are included, and I'm really interested. Because when Lucy did her one, she had a section for PlayStation 3, and I'm wondering if I'm going to have the same section. Because I never actually owned a PlayStation 3. So my very first console that I owned was a PlayStation 2. I did also have a Sega Mega Drive in the house, and we had one of the old school 80s Game Boys, but they weren't my consoles. So my very first one was a PlayStation 2. And then PlayStation 3 era, I moved on to an Xbox 360 just because that was cheaper to buy than a PlayStation 3. And my Christmas money could just afford an Xbox. So I ended up going for that, and I really enjoyed the achievement system. And when like PlayStation 4 gen came out, I was swithering whether to go Xbox or PlayStation. And again, it fell down to which one was cheaper because, you know, it was my student loan that paid for my PlayStation 4. So poor student me decided to go for the cheaper option, which was PS4. But that was one of the best decisions I made because I fell in love with trophies. And, you know, I wouldn't be here now talking about my trophies if I didn't get a PlayStation. So win-win. But after getting my PlayStation 4 and just enjoying the whole aspect of the PlayStation, I don't think I would go back to Xbox now. I did have an Xbox One, but it didn't have the same appeal. But anyway, ramble over. I'm curious to see how my PlayStation story is going to factor in PS3 games, because when I've played them, it has been through streaming, either on PS Now or the new cloud streaming with the PlayStation Premium tier. So interesting. But let's move on to the meat of this video. I have talked long enough, and I'm going to be talking a lot longer, let's be honest. But if you're curious about your own PlayStation story, if you go onto the My Links at the top of TrueTrophies and then down to Social and Content, at the very bottom of that tab is My PlayStation Story. So let's see mine. So here we are. Hit the road, Becky's PlayStation Story. So yeah, there's my username if you want to add me. But I have earned 4,986 trophies over 192 games, and I am level 391. So I'm closing in on level 400, but I'll be honest, I don't really care about PSN level just because I did want to get to level 100 previously, but then they've changed the level caps. So I don't know, I missed a whole bunch of levels with the change. So I don't really care anymore. But, you know, it's still cool. So I've also answered my question. It does count streamed games as playing it on like a physical PS3, which, you know, I kind of figured it would because it counts as a PS3 on PSN Profiles, but, you know, the more we know. So I don't know what most of these icons mean, to be honest. I think that'll be my true trophy score. I'm guessing this one will be games played, maybe games completed, and I don't know what this little diamond is. But my trophy score for PS3 is 2,898. I played 5 games and I've completed 1. That's rookie numbers. We need to get that up. I need to stream more PS3 games. But I've earned 79 bronze trophies, 12 silver, 5 gold, and 1 platinum. So my very first trophy is from Fallout 3, which is Vault 101 Citizenship Award. Fallout 3 is one of my all-time favourite games. I absolutely love it. And I am so close to the Fallout 3 Platinum, and not gonna lie, devastated that this isn't included in the cloud streaming for PS Premium. I did hear that it was included, so I upgraded, and it wasn't there. I was devastated. So I think my only option now, what with Fallout, Bethesda being taken over by Microsoft, is probably to just buy a PS3 and complete Fallout that way. But I don't know if it's going to have a different trophy list, because I know certain games, the Game of the Year edition and things, their trophy lists are different and messy, so I don't know. But one day I would love to get the Fallout 3 Platinum. So my rarest trophy is, oh my god, it's all mages. Everything is mages. Oh, how embarrassing. Okay, so my rarest trophy is Perfection from Mages. I can't even remember what that's for, but that was unlocked by 4,791 players, so it's not even a particularly rare trophy. My first game completed was Mages, my fastest game completion was Mages, and my rarest game completion was Mages. Oh, that's awful! Of all the games to be immortalized in my PS3 stats, it is Mages. I'm embarrassed. Quite honestly, I'm embarrassed. If you've not heard of Mages, I wouldn't be surprised. It is the absolute gaff of a game, to be honest. I ended up playing this on PS Now. I think it was, 2020 was when I completed it. So it took me 1 day and 19 hours to complete, and this was in like a 3-week trial thing for PS Now, and I just heard, or I saw it on a list of like easy platinum, so I'm like, oh, I'll get that. So I played Black Mirror and Magus during that free trial. Black Mirror, very good game, which is available on cloud streaming as well. Highly recommend. Magus is also available on cloud streaming. Do not recommend. Although it's an easy platinum, it's not a very fun game. I don't even remember what the story is. It's incredibly forgettable. But I think you're like running through like a desert or something. And like you collect orbs. There's like red, blue and green orbs. And like you level up your character, which is Magus, with these orbs. I don't know what the story is. I can't remember. You know, it wasn't even fun combat. You're just like button mashing your way through. And overall, having this on my PS3 completion thing is very disappointing. So I'm gonna try and change this. I'm gonna have to look at the cloud streaming, get some better games on here. You know, maybe we'll come back to this at the end of the year and we'll see if I've been able to knock Magus off, because that is atrocious. So we're gonna quickly skip over that and we're gonna join the PlayStation Vita era. So this was apparently from December 2011. I guess that's when the Vita released, but I didn't get it in 2011. I got my Vita in 2019. I actually got it secondhand from CEX, so I don't have a lot of Vita games, but I do like my Vita. I do want to sort of expand my Vita collection, and I do need to kind of make it a point of using my Vita more. I usually only play it when I go visit my mum, because I don't obviously have like my gaming set up at my mum's house. I have it all here. And you know, my Vita, it's nice, it's portable, I can play it on the train, you know, yada yada. So I need to make more of a point of playing it when I'm at home as well, because there's so many games on my Vita that I'd love to complete. Persona 4 is the latest one I've been playing on my Vita, and I have been really enjoying that. But yeah, 21st of March 2019, that was when I got my Vita, and my first trophy was Digit Chase Trap Prize from Welcome Park. I feel like everyone who has a Vita has played Welcome Park. I've not 100%ed Welcome Park because there's one mini game in it that really, it just completely stumped me and I couldn't do it. So I gave that up. I've also just realised I completely skipped over this. So for my Vita trophy score, it's 7,721. I have played 11 games, completed 4 of them. Don't know what this 3 is. I've earned 162 bronze trophies, 33 silvers, 17 golds, and 4 Vita platinums. So that's better stats than the PS3. I'm liking this. But moving on to my rarest trophy, this is Tie of New Zealand from Reverie, and that is unlocked by 514 players. Reverie is another easy platinum, and there's also a PS4 version if you don't have a Vita, but this is one I'd highly recommend picking up. I think the game's maybe only like 10-15 hours long, but it's really enjoyable. It's just about this little boy who is visiting his grandparents on this island in New Zealand, and he's spending like his summer holidays there. So like you play arcade games, you collect feathers, you go into dungeons and beat washing machines. Like I think there's 3 or 4 dungeons in the game that you have to complete, and each of them have bosses. It's a really fun trophy, a really fun little game, and I picked this up super cheap in a sale, so I would highly recommend it. I really enjoyed Reverie. My first game completion was on the 25th of March 2019, so it didn't take me long to get my first Vita Platinum. That was Jak and Daxter and the Precursor Legacy. Jak and Daxter and the Precursor Legacy is in my top 3 all-time favourite games. I love it so much. And this is definitely Naughty Dog's best game. Like, not even any hesitation there. The rest of the Jak and Daxter series I didn't really enjoy, I will be honest. I do have the Platinum in 2, and I do own the trilogy on the Vita, which I'll probably try and finish 3 at some point. But the second game just took such a deviation from the first one, and it just became really like angsty and dark and shooty, and you know, that's not what Jak and Daxter was for me. And you know, the Precursor Legacy is the Jak and Daxter that I loved, and I would really enjoy like a Jak and Daxter reboot, but following the theme of the Precursor Legacy. Not that we're ever going to get it, but that would be my dream. My fastest game completion is My Name is Mayo, the ultimate game. I completed that in 50 minutes. My slowest game completion was Reverie, which I did in 90 days, 22 hours and 47 minutes. As I said, the game's only about 15 hours long, so it's definitely not a 90-day game. It's just because I started it, I think I started it over the summer, and then I didn't finish it until I went back up to my mum's at Christmas. So that's why there's such a big gap, because as I said, I only really play my Vita when I'm traveling. And then my rarest game completion is Reverie, which is 519 players. Curious though, this tie of New Zealand, which I'm thinking might be the Platinum trophy, was earned by 114, but Reverie was completed by 519. Like, how can a trophy be rarer than the game completion? Because the game completion is like your Platinum, surely. So this should be lower. So I don't really understand how that works. But I'm quite happy with my Vita stats. I would like to improve them more. I would definitely like to earn more Vita Platinums. I do think the console had a lot of potential, and I do really wish it was supported for longer than it was, but you know, them's the breaks. I do still have a lot of games to catch up on, and a lot of people have said really good things about like the visual novels and things that are available on the Vita, so that could be something I'd like to check out at some point. But now we're moving on to the meat of my trophy career, which is the PlayStation 4. So I got my PlayStation 4 on the 9th of October 2015. My true trophy score is 193,407. I have played 165 games, completed 77 of them. Don't know what that is. I have 3,106 bronze trophies, 863 silvers, 347 golds, and 70 platinums. That's quite a nice round number, quite enjoy that. So we have my first trophy, which is First Treasure from Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I did mention this quite a bit in my milestone video. You know, I did really enjoy that this is my first trophy and my first milestone. So it doesn't show up first on my PlayStation story, but you know, I like that it's still first here. I like that. So my rarest trophy is Mr. I Don't Feel So Good from Green Hell, and that is unlocked by 130 players. So this platinum must still be ultra rare. Can't remember if I checked that when I mentioned it in my Plat Fails video, because I'm sure that's where I mentioned Green Hell. I know I spoke about it. But this is for getting every illness and injury possible at once, I think. Or maybe it's not. I can't remember. I can't remember what that is, but based on the icon, I think it's, or is it food poisoning? I don't know. It was one of those anyway. Yeah, Green Hell was a fun game. I just feel like it could have been better. I mean, there's so many things you can do in the game, like so much to do, but you don't actually need to do any of it, and I feel like that's disappointing. It would have been nice to need more of the features that were introduced in the game. So my first platinum was the 3rd of March 2016, my very first platinum trophy, and that is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, my all-time favourite game. I would highly recommend everyone play San Andreas if you haven't already, and even if you have played it, play it again, because this game is timeless. Like, I find that all my favourite games tend to be from like 2004, that was the year. Don't know what it is about 2004 games, but they just hit different. Yeah, very happy with that one. My fastest game completion is My Name is Mayo, the PS4 version, and I completed that in 33 minutes. So I shaved off like, what, 17 minutes from my Vita time? So already I am crushing my own goals, like just improving constantly, just living my best trophy life. I say as we come into my slowest game completion, which is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Completed in 2,192 days, 15 hours and 29 minutes. So if, to the uninitiated, you're unaware what this translates to in years, it is 6. This took me 6 years. That was a long time coming, that platinum, but worth it. Really enjoyed it. You know, I'm glad that's there. I wonder if I'll ever be able to beat that. Like, if I go back to, like, Uncharted, for example, because that was the first game I played. Like, if I platinumed that now, that would be slower than Vice City. So, I mean, it's going to be fun as I sort of clean up more of my PS4 backlog, just to see how high this number can go. So my rarest game completion is Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, and that was completed by 798 players. So Final Fantasy 15 is my game of the PS4 generation. That is the one I had the most fun playing, and it's the first game I really got absorbed into that wasn't San Andreas. And Pocket Edition I got cheap in a sale in 2020, I think. Might have been 2021, but no, I think it was 2020. I was bored in lockdown. This was cheap. I picked it up and I had a nice time with it. The Pocket Edition is basically like the light edition of Final Fantasy 15. So you play as like these little sort of chibi characters rather than like the fully animated ones. You don't have the same open world, the same grinding, the same sort of dungeons. It's a light version basically, but it's still an enjoyable little game. So I mean, if you did struggle to get into 15, that might be like a good alternative. I wouldn't pay a lot for it though, I will be honest, although I enjoyed it. I mean, I loved 15, so I wouldn't pay more than 20 quid for it, to be honest. And here we have my most played game, which is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which I have played for 13 days, 17 hours and 54 minutes of my real human life. So I mentioned in my intro that this is the game I was grinding when I originally watched Lucy's video on this. And it's a story for another time. Well, I guess that time is now because it's on my trophy list. Basically, Kingdom Hearts 2, I am so close to the platinum. Like, I am so close to the platinum. I can almost taste it, but I will not get it. So I am on my second playthrough that is like my 100% run, and I have done like 98% of it, I would say. I have almost completed Jiminy's journal. I have cleared out almost every single world. I have done every single side activity. I have almost synthesized every item. The only things I have left are blocked by the data battles. So I have a trophy for completing all the missions in Jiminy's journal, which I can't do until I finish the data battles. I have to synthesize 2 more items, which I can't do until I unlock the items from the data battles. I have to open 1 more treasure chest, which I can't do until I complete the data battles and unlock that treasure chest. I have to complete the data battles, which I can't do until I complete the data battles. And for those of you who haven't played Kingdom Hearts, basically the data battles are every single organization boss within that game roided up and turned into super difficult bosses. And I can't do it. I feel like one day I will be able to, but I just can't do it. And it's just really annoying. And I put the game down again. Like in the past month, I have spent near enough 2 weeks grinding it. And you know, I put like 40 hours in and I have nothing to show for it really, absolutely nothing. And it's quite defeating. I also still have my hard mode playthrough to do, which I feel like is going to be way more doable than the data battles. I've even defeated Lingering Will and I just can't do the data battles. So Kingdom Hearts, I would love to come back to, but at the moment this is sitting in a plat fail because my God, that's defeated me. It's got the best of me. I cannot do it. But let's move on. Let's leave that heartache behind and move on to the PlayStation 5. So I got my PlayStation 5 on the 3rd of December 2021. My baby Percy joined me. So if you ever hear me referring to Percy, Percy is my PS5. Just so we're all on the same page here. But my trophy score for the PS5 is 14,891. I have played 11 PS5 games, completed 5 of them. In terms of the trophies, I've got 186 bronze, 70 silver, 26 gold, and 5 platinums. So my first trophy is 1 down, lots more to go from Astro's Playroom, which I think is probably everyone's first PS5 trophy, but I think this is a really apt one because there are lots more to go. And, you know, this PlayStation gen is just beginning. And, you know, I'm excited to see where it goes. So my rarest trophy is the Chernobylite Communion from Chernobylite, which is unlocked by 178 players. That's quite fun. My first game completion is Astro's Playroom from the 4th of December. So it didn't take me long to finish Astro. And I feel like, again, this is probably everyone's first game completion. My fastest game completion is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl in less than 5 minutes. This is an auto-pop. Basically, there is an exploit. So if you know someone who already has the platinum, if you join a local game on their PS4, or maybe it doesn't have to be on their PS4, but you have to play locally with them. And then if you set it to like 1 life and then jump off the edge, you will auto pop the platinum. So basically they can give you the platinum for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. So that's why I got it. I did play it legit for maybe an hour, but I didn't like it. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be as good as Smash Bros, but I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't find the battles fun as much as I enjoyed playing as like Ren and Stimpy and like Nigel Thornberry. It wasn't a good game. So that was quite a disappointing plus game for me, but you know, I got a free platinum out of it. So pros and cons. My slowest game completion is Bug Snacks, which is 138 days, 20 hours and 20 minutes. So that'll be the 5 months that I put the game down for. My rarest game completion is Chernobylite, which was completed by 179 players. See, again, these stats don't make sense to me. Like, why is the game completion higher than like the rarest trophy of the game? Because they should at least be the same. But I'll need to look into that more because there's a lot about the site, as I said earlier, I just don't understand. And my most played game is Deep Rock Galactic for 4 days, 2 hours and 41 minutes. I'm going to be curious to see if anything will knock Deep Rock Galactic off my list, but I'm still not finished with Deep Rock Galactic, so this number could still grow. So I do think it's going to be interesting to come back to this, maybe at the end of the year, and just see what I've managed to change from this list, see what I've managed to knock off. But here we have my records. So my best date was the 18th of May, 2022. Oh, okay, so that was only like last month. And I earned 103 trophies worth 2,763 trophy points. That must have been the day I played My Name is Mayo 2 and 3. That is the only thing I can think of that would give me that many trophies. But my best month was May of 2020, where I earned 268 trophies worth 14,378 trophy points. May 2020, the beginning of lockdown, I was living my best life. You know, I do think I would have still been deep in my Fallout 76 zone at that point. So I don't know how I earned so many trophies, but that was a good time. Lockdown was good to me. I really did thrive in lockdown, I'm not gonna lie. I got so many fun games done. And I'm never gonna have that gaming time again, ever. So I did make the most of it. My best year, unsurprisingly, it was 2020, where I earned 1,306 trophies worth 55,807 trophy points. And my best streak of earning trophies, so like a trophy every single day, is 27 days. So almost a full month. And that's for 307 trophies worth 8,685 points. So I have completed 87 games, 40 DLCs. So my completion percentage is 55.36%, which is quite good. I feel like there's not a lot of variation between my completion percentage on TrueTrophies and my completion percentage on PSN. Because I know in Lucy's video, she had about a 10% difference in hers. Whereas I think on PSN Profiles, I'm sitting at 54.7% roughly. And on here, I'm only 55. So there's like maybe 1.5% in it. So it's not a massive amount, which is surprising because DLC is not normally something I complete in games, but you know, the stats don't lie. The total install size of my games, 8,602 gigabytes. I mean, I'm not surprised. I actually would have thought it would be higher than that. But, you know, it is what it is. See, the total install size of my game is like 8,000 gigs, but yet we still only have a 500 gig storage, internal storage in the consoles. Sort it out, Sony. Oh, That's an eye-watering one there. The value of games estimated from launch price. I have spent £24,751 on games. That's more than I earn in a year. Like, that is more than my yearly salary on games. Like, wow, that, I never want to look at that stat again. Please don't shame me like this, TrueTrophies, come on. And here we have like my active months. So here's where I started in October 15, had a little spike in 2017, 2018, May of 2020. May has been quite a good month for me, 2020 and in 2022. Yeah, that's quite interesting. And here we have like my full trophy collection again. Ooh, my most played series. So we have Far Cry with 4 out of 9 games played. I like the Far Cry games. I'm not really surprised it's in my most played series, but at the same time, Far Cry games are not my favourite by any stretch. So yeah, just the fact that's at the top is a bit disappointing. I need to play more series to get rid of that. But yeah, I've earned 163 trophies from that series for a total of 6,147 trophy points. The Walking Dead games, I have played 4 out of 10 for 141 trophies, 4,492 points. This must be counting games across the different console generations, because I have finished Walking Dead. I've played the individual seasons, like season 1 to 3, plus Michonne. I played, and then I got the remastered edition, which has all 4 seasons and the DLC in one. So I've also played that. So this must also be including like the Vita and the PS3 ones for me to only be at 4. Grand Theft Auto, not surprising that that's there. I love the Grand Theft Auto series. I have played all of them. The one that's missing is Grand Theft Auto 4, just because I did play that on Xbox, so it's not on my list here, which is a shame. Like, rather than remastering GTA 5 for a million times, can we please get a remaster of GTA 4, or even just a port of GTA 4? Like, please, Rockstar. I want to go back to Liberty City. Yeah, so I've done 4 out of 5 games for 131 trophies, 8,902 points. So that includes Vice City, the PS2 port, and the Definitive Edition. I've platinumed both of them. San Andreas, the PS2 port and Definitive Edition, I have platinumed both of them. I've also platinumed GTA 5 on the PS4. And I have played GTA 3, but haven't platinumed it yet. And I also still have the PS5 versions of Vice City and San Andreas to work on. So, you know, I'm going to up that. But yeah, I'm missing 4. And again, the only option for me to play for is to get a PS3. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I need to buy a PS3 just to knock Magus off and replace it with Grand Theft Auto. Borderlands, I have played 4 out of 8 games for 128 trophies, 6,744 points. Borderlands, I'm a massive fan of the Borderlands series. It is one of my favourites, so I'm quite glad that's there. And Spyro for 3 out of 3 games played, 108 trophies, 4,775 points. This is where I, again, do not understand the stats. Because although I have played all the Spyro games, I have the platinums in all the Spyro games, surely there's series that I've played more of that should be in here. Like Final Fantasy, for example. Let's just take that. Like, I have played Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, plus Final Fantasy 7 Remake. So that right there is 6 games out of the many Final Fantasies there are. So that already beats all of these, but yet Final Fantasy isn't in my most played series. Or even Kingdom Hearts. I've played 1, 2, 3 and Birth by Sleep, so that's 4. You know, the only reason that one might not count is because the final mix is technically 1 game. So, you know, 2, 3 and Birth by Sleep are in there. Or no, 1, 2, Birth by Sleep. But yeah, Final Fantasy should definitely be in my most played series. Or even Fallout. Like, I have got trophies in Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76, plus Fallout Shelter. So that's 5. Like, I don't understand how the game series things works. So I don't think this is the most accurate of things in the world, because I would have liked to see more of my favorite games on here. Or even like Jak and Daxter. Like, I've played 1, 2, and 3, but I have double platinums in 1. Like, so that would be, if you count them as separate games, like I think that's what they're doing with The Walking Dead, you know, that would be higher. So I don't understand how this bit works out. This is probably the bit I like least, just because I don't actually feel like this is super representative of the games that I play a lot of, like the ones that I have multiples of. Like, Spyro's a trilogy and I have completed it, but I don't know. I'd like to try and change this if I can. I don't know how I can, but I'd like to do that. And then finally, we have my top played genres. So no surprise, open world is at the top at 23%. Then I am partial to a shooter at 17.6. I love a role-playing game at 16.9. Adventure 10.5. Platformer 7.4. Stealth at 6.1. That I am very surprised is here, because I hate stealth games. Like, I cannot be stealthy to save my life. Like, I enjoy running and gunning, so very surprising. Action adventure 6.1. So we could basically make that 16.6%, which would, yeah, put it in line with adventure. Point and click 5.7. Dungeon crawler is also quite surprising. It's here at 3.4. Because I don't really think I've played that many dungeon crawlers, unless what I'm playing, I don't realise it's classed as dungeon crawler. And then we have survival at 3.4. So I feel like this bit is maybe a bit messy, but this side I feel is quite representative. Excuse me. It's quite representative of what I enjoy playing. I love open world RPGs. I like shooting things. I like adventuring. Platforming, I would say, is definitely like the lowest out of these. So yeah, that's pretty spot on. But yeah, that is my PlayStation story. So this was very interesting to look at. I really enjoyed it. And now I have a new goal for this year. So we are going to come back to this in December, mark my words, and we're going to see what I can change about this list, because there are certain things, i.e. mages, that I'm just really not happy with. So yeah, we're going to try and change this, and I'm also going to see if I can tweak my most played series. Like, maybe I just need to complete more of the Final Fantasy games to get them to show up. Like, I'd quite like to knock Spyro off the list. Like, I enjoy Spyro, but he doesn't deserve to be there. So there we have it. That is my PlayStation story. Have you joined TrueTrophies and checked out your PlayStation story? Let me know down below. Do you have any achievements that can beat my 2000 days on Vice City or my 13 days playing Kingdom Hearts straight? So, I mean, I hate to be setting all these records, but, you know, try and beat me. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!